Alola, Cardfight fans and trading card gamers alike. This is your boy, the Edge Master, with the Dirty Boy Swag, Good Gamer Glenn, here with another video of something. It's been a very long time since I last uploaded a video, that's for sure. But today I wanted to go over something that's a little bit more of what I personally like as well, and that is Cardfight Vanguard and its new thing, Cardfight Vanguard overdress. Now, when I first found out about this, I thought, oh my god, this is probably another time for me to get back into the card game. And you know what else is coming out? We scroll up here a little bit. New anime! Haha! Anybody that knows about Cardfight Vanguard, you do know that there was the original series. Then it went to that carried on over to the G series, and then we had that reboot that had to do with like horse markers and whatnot. And well, now we have a brand new thing that has like supposedly nothing to do with the original stuff, which is good, bad, depending how you take a look at it. But the purpose of today's video is just to go over the lore of what's happened, and it's gonna be it's pretty good. It's pretty good in my opinion. Like after taking a little read on this, you can kind of see over here like a little text at the bottom. But we are gonna be talking about 3,000 years later after the events of what happened in the Cardfight Vanguard anime. So let's get started. If you haven't already, though, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, hit the bell notification item and share this video with a friend if you think, it was a good video. I will be talking about a lot about like my opinions about the lore, speculations, maybe some hot takes. So grab a drink if you need to get one, pause the video so you can do so, and let's continue. Alright, so Cardfight Vanguard overdress. The new era on Planet Cray has begun. Vanguard welcomes its 10th anniversary in 2021 with an anticipated grand revolution on the next decade. So yeah, it has been 10 years since the series has come out, and I've been watching it ever since it first came out, and got into the TCG, of course, and enjoyed it a lot. And it did kind of overwhelm me a little bit. I was in college at the time, so didn't have too much money to keep up with upgrading my decks and whatnot. So, but after all this time, hey, especially now, it's going to be a lot easier to get into the TCG series itself. It's starter decks when they come out, they're going at like $3.99 USD. So that's already pretty something. That's something. Anyways, to continue, Cardfight Vanguard overdress. Over the 3,000 years that have passed on Planet Cray, prayers of the maidens awaken the Chakrabarti divine dragon from within the egg, and Chakrabarti begins. Now, I'm not sure where that comes from, the language itself. I think it's like Sanskrit or something, or some of that, like, I don't want to say Middle Eastern. I think that's wrong, but, all that stuff. So the divinity Gize is destroyed, and the divinity Messiah slumbers. In era without prayers, the deityless era begins. Planet Cray loses the protection of divinities and falls into ruin. The new nation Brantgate prepares for the return of Void. New nation Keter Sanctuary controls a floating island of the skies. Zu and Magallanica build Stoicheia upon the teachings of the sages. A hero ends a civil war and establishes the dark states. Excuse me. A large dragon egg lays dormant within the unchanging nation Dragon Empire. Now, that's already a lot to take in. For starters, anybody who has been watching the anime, who has been keeping up with it, the last part of the G era, the main characters, they went to go take down this big, deity dragon that's like the opposite of like, like your regular Chaos versus Cosmos kind of thing from Final Fantasy. So they took him down, and after all that's happened, 3,000 years pass on Cray, and yeah, and this is where we are now, the current overdress, whatever's going on. Don't have too much information on what's going on, but that's why we're going over this lore right now. A little bit of speculation though from what we've seen here already. So we have the new nation, Brantgate. The funny thing I find about this whole Brantgate portion here though, Brantgate appeared during Brant himself appeared during the V series anime with so that was the Cardfight Vanguard reboot. So it's kind of weird to see it that the nation itself is rebranded to Brantgate, but I guess that's where it what's the word I'm looking for? I guess that's where it like kind of connects in with at least the V series anime. So I'm guessing in that portion We could be looking at another kind of multiverse theory again, I guess. But we'll see when the anime drops. We'll find out. Let's see. Keter Sanctuary. So Keter Sanctuary, which we'll find out later, is basically the United Sanctuary. Its new name. Zoo and Magalanica, they built a nation called Stoicheia. So two of the nations from the series just boom came together. And what else can we look at? A hero ends the civil war and establishes the dark states. Now you can look at that a lot of different ways. A lot of people from like speculations are all talking about like, oh, maybe the hero is Chrono Jet Dragon, or maybe the hero is somebody else. Like it could be anybody. We'll dive more into that later. And the last part, the legendary dragon egg, it's probably this little dude right here. Just chilling in his egg, about to be hatched, and probably turns into this thing if anything has to say about it. Pretty sure it turns into this thing. I'm pretty sure the community thinks it turns into this thing. Especially since this is the grade 0 anyways for Dragon Empire. Anyways, so 3,000 years later, Planet Kree has come to this. So I don't have a previous map of like what happened here, but the Keter Sanctuary, which was originally the United Sanctuary, had a much bigger like had a much bigger zone of control. I think it like went up to like here or something. Dragon Empire was a little bit more smaller, and I think more towards this way. The Dark States, which was originally Dark Zone, I think had like this small area here before it got taken over by Dragon Empire. Stoicheia, well, you see this whole place belongs to Stoicheia, so this is definitely like the second biggest nation, but that's understandable when two of the nations ended up joining forces in this case. For those of you who don't know, of course, the nations, like I said earlier, is Zoo and Magalanica. So, and then Brant Gate right here. They look like they're in like the South Polish region. I think you'll see a picture of it later, but it's like a very icy place, very snowy place. So, yeah. Planet Kree is the same, but after 3,000 years, the world has entered the Chakrabarti Divine Era. In this era, clans have disappeared and given way to nations instead. Oh boy. So what this is about is here. So this is what we're looking at. Originally, for those of you who don't know, I'm hoping you do, because you're probably watching this video because you know what Cardfight Vanguard is. But for those of you who don't, Cardfight Vanguard as a card game supported a 26 clan system or something? Oh my god, I gotta count this. 3, 6, 8, 11, 14, 16, 18... 21, 2, 3, 4. 24 clan system. My god, I actually have to count all that. Some fan I am. But so they had to support 24 individual types of play styles, if you want to call it that way, for deck building. And you can kind of imagine like how that would turn out, right? Like let's say you're a Mega Colony fan. This is like probably one of the more least played clan out of all of them. You're sitting there waiting for like entire year or even more to get support for your clan. And that's a lot. And I understand, because there's a lot more popular clans out there like Kagero, Royal Paladin, Narukami, Link Joker, Shadow Paladins, all that. Bermuda Triangle, for short. But as you can see, there's 6 nations. So everything from the United Sanctuary became the Keter Sanctuary, like I was explaining earlier. Dragon Empire, still the same, still Dragon Empire. Stargate, rebranded to Brant Gate. Dark Zone to Dark States. Zoo and Magalanica became Stoicheia, and the only thing from Magalanica is that's like kind of did not join to make Stoicheia was the Bermuda Triangle clan, and they became a new clan called Lyrical Monasterio. I don't have a picture I think right now, but it's basically a city on top of a giant flying whale. And for anybody that knows Bermuda Triangle, well, it's always being supported by its whales. I mean, it's a good clan. It's pretty OP. It's got some good artwork, if you know what I mean. Anyways, Keter Sanctuary. What was known as United Sanctuary is the youngest nation of planet Grey. This nation was once a holy kingdom of heroes that prized justice and order, but its territory has shrunk from civil wars and calamities. Separated into the controlling faction that looks down from the floating island, and the people below that gaze up at the island. So, from what I could gather from online, there was another source. I don't remember where it was, but I saw it on the Solemn Vanguard uh, lore discussion channel, and like they're talking about like Alfred's family. For those of you that know, uh, one of Aichi's grade threes that he plays. Their family was involved in this civil war, and they ended up losing. Now I don't know what kind of family that they were up against, but hey, they lost. That's what happened, and now it's become. What was the joke? I think it became like the New America or something. I'm not sure. I forgot who made that joke, but it's funny, I guess. Basically, all the people with power are on top on this floating island, and then all like the peasants and commoners are like at the on the ground, you know, like below the flying islands, floating islands. Sorry, and I have like some speculations about this, but I think I'll go over it after we go over like the other clans and stuff too. So next we have the Dragon Empire, the only nation whose name remains even after 3,000 years. Dragon Empire, Dragon Empire. While the nation's borders are in constant flux, it remains safe and affluent due to its great military power based on destructive weapons that meld magic and science. Now that's an interesting statement right there. A dragon egg of legends lays dormant at the Red Dawn Manor within the sacred temple of the Dragon Empire. Now, just reading that right off the bat, Dragon Empire for the win. Just saying, just putting it out there. I am a Dragon Empire base whatever fan. I don't give a shit. I'm a Dragon Empire boy. And like that's already pretty cool. Like for those of you that do know, like let's take Draconic Overlord. This is like the most iconic card in the entire like Dragon Empire, or at least in Kagero for sure. That guy was spouting like all these types of like weapons and stuff. Now you telling me destructive weapons that meld magic and science together? Pretty OP if you think, you know, if you ask me. But this is 3,000 years. I kind of wonder what kind of like other shit they have, you know. And then now we get the Brand Gate. So you can see in the picture here a little bit, it does look like a very snowy, icy place. There looks like they're living in domes, probably underground. The first thing that pops into my mind, I think someone else mentioned this too on a stream I saw, but Brand Gate literally reminds me of Chaldea from the Fate Grand Order app game. If anybody knows what that is, you know, maybe add me as a friend, send me your link code, you know. You can always use more friends. But Brandgate, a nation known as Stargate, prospered from being the Stargate of planet Krayt to visitors from other dimensions. It maintains its advanced culture and national power in the new era through its high-level technological development. To prepare for the return of Void, the citizens of Brandgate defend themselves from invaders with the power of science, and continue fighting at the borders of the world. So, knowing the lore and like what clans went into Brandgate, one of them being Link Joker for sure. Anyone see that opening video when they first released this? Oh man, you know what I'm talking about. Makes you wonder, you know, the evil looking Link Joker units also trying to prevent stuff from the Void appearing and whatnot, or causing havoc again on the planet Krayt. A little sus if you ask me, but you never know. You never know. Sorry about that. I think the kids next door are walking their dog again, if you guys heard that. Dark States. The nation formerly known as Darkzone is a magical nation dominated by the Dark Forces. Excuse me. The small kingdom dominated by the Demon Kings was once fractured, but is reunited by the efforts of a single hero and Gear Chronicle. With the laws of Gear Chronicle and the relationship with Dragon Empire, Dark States entered a period of prosperity. Now, see, this is what I was talking about before. It says it was united, or reunited, by the efforts of a single hero and Gear Chronicle. When you put it that way, when people say that maybe Chronojet Dragon is the hero, that's kind of weird. You know what I mean? Because Chronojet Dragon was already part of Gear Chronicle. But I guess also when you read it this way, he was the sole hero of Gear Chronicle, technically, especially if you watch the anime. So that also makes sense. But I'd like to think that this single hero is somebody else. I'll go over my thoughts later after I finish, like I said earlier. And now we have Stoicheia. So, Stoicheia, the nation with the longest history on planet Krayt, Zoo and Magellanica, where the aquatic creatures and undead army gather, became one nation based on the teachings of the great sage Stoicheia. As foreseen by Stoicheia, the former zoo is a land where the world's best minds gather within the verdant riches of nature, represented by the sacred tree. Stoicheia's national power has been on a sharp rise of late, due to its abundance of resources and the unity of its people. So, you take two big clans, you mash them together, you cannot tell me that it's like a really huge, like, world power, you know what I mean? And it says it for itself. Like, it's made up of the minds of, like, the smartest beings in Zoo. And, like, you have, like, the people from Magellanica, you have the Grand Blue Undead units, and then you also have Aquaforce. That's like your naval military right there, kind of thing, you know? That's their. So you have a bunch of smart dudes, smart units, being protected by, like, this invincible navy, basically, you know? It's ridiculous. It's no wonder they're probably prospering, you know? Oh, man. But in any case, I think enough about that, about the lore. I can leave a link to the link to the site's lore page in the description below, so you can go and check it out for yourself and everything else. I would like to go over the changes to the trading card game, but maybe I can save that for a later video, because right now it's just all about, like, speculation and my hot takes and whatnot. So let's go back all the way to the beginning and talk about Cater Sanctuary. Now, Cater Sanctuary, if you take a look at the cards, which you can probably find lying around somewhere on the internet or on this the Cardfight Vanguard webpage, but my speculations. So, in a recent broadcast, I think it was just this Tuesday, or not broadcast, the producer's letter. Was his name Katamori? He talks about how him and the creator of Cardfight Vanguard, the Ito, something Ito. Oh my God, I'm a failure as a fan. They wanted to talk about the lore of Planet Krayt, and they wanted to combine it with the card game itself. So, like, going forward, we're expected to see, like, the card game and the lore evolving at the same time, or, like, parallel to each other, which is pretty good in my opinion, since they're already dropping the whole 24 clans idea into, like, these 6 different nations. I think that makes it a little bit easier for them to, like, come up with cards ideas and, like, other units and stuff. I mean, think about it. Would you want to come up with, like, 24 different things every year, or, like, 6? It's probably easier to come up with, like, 6 different things every year. Okay, maybe not every year, but you get what I mean. But yeah, so Keter Sanctuary. So, going off the speculations that I've read about, like, Alfred's family losing the war and everything, kind of makes you wonder what other family was trying to take over. In this case, it's probably one of those families that are like, oh man, you're probably too righteous, blah blah blah, we need more power, blah 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 blah. I don't know. But I do know where I read somewhere else as well, I think the Keter Sanctuary, United Sanctuary became like this because they had something called a Keter engine. I think it was powered by the divinities that were still awake or up at the time before Messiah went to sleep and all the deities just disappeared. And because it was an engine that was ran on, you know, like, divine power, if there's no divine power to run on, then of course it's going to end up failing. So that was probably one of the causes of the Civil War anyways. And, like, they probably turned into a mentality that's like only the strong should, like, rule the weak. This is probably why they separated themselves on the floating islands, and all the commoners and peasants are all the way at the bottom. Now, this sets up for very good, like, lore development. Because, like, let's take, for example, if you guys know the Alt-Mile card used by Shion Kiba in the Vanguard G series. He was one of those like commoner knights that became a royal paladin, and he became like this later on throughout the series. He became like this kind of like upper ranking knight and whatnot. It evolved every season or so, but yeah. So you can probably think like maybe they're gonna have like some kind of a commoner person that becomes like this cool hero that's gonna fight back against the people that's like living on the top part on the floating islands of Keter Sanctuary. Like, I'm probably gonna regret saying this, but I understand a lot of people do not like all the nostalgia pandering, especially since we had a reboot of Cardfight Vanguard. Nobody wants to see Blaster Blade again. But I wouldn't mind seeing Blaster Blade again. Like, don't get me wrong, it doesn't have to be the exact same guy. I mean, hell, the dude is a human, and like 3,000 years has passed. That dude is definitely dead or something, you know? But the Blaster Blade itself, lore-wise, it was a weapon. The person who took it up, Aichi's, the one that became Aichi's avatar, he named himself after the weapon itself, after he received it. So, who's there to say that there won't be like a second coming of Blaster Blade? If you're a Gundam fan, you know what I'm talking about. Second coming of Blaster Blade, second coming of Char. Come on. How can you not be psyched for that? Like another Blaster Blade unit. Like, I don't give a damn what everybody else says. Or like anybody else that's against it says. It's cool. I would think that would like make for some really good lore development. I mean, maybe the dude's a dumbass or something. I don't know. And then he also has to kind of like work his way up or something. Or like maybe that unit gets some character development. I don't really know, but that would be pretty damn cool. So like, yeah, maybe he's gonna help reform Keter Sanctuary. Maybe that's gonna change the way Keter Sanctuary plays as a nation. Who knows? I mean, if the Kinemori and oh my god, what is his name? And the author want to like make the lore and the card game like evolve in like a parallel line to each other, then what better way to do it than by something like that, bringing in a second coming of Blaster Blade. Blaster Blade was literally the author's like main unit like for the entire series. Dragon Empire. Now this is going to come back to another nostalgia point, but Dragon Empire, the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of dragons is what? Big, powerful, long living. So why can't like people just hope, or in my case, I hope Dragonic Overlord comes back. Honestly, like he could be an entirely new form for all I care. He could be like some old dragon with a beard for all I care. Like, how can you not see Dragonic Overlord coming back? Like, if there's a unit that's going to make a return in the overdress series, it has to be Dragonic Overlord. I mean, come on, the dude's literally been like through death like couple of times, or like the whole rebirth thing, and I don't know, and then when he became the legend afterwards, and so on and so forth. Like, yeah. I do believe, like, in my speculation for this ties in with the anime though. Like the main character Yu, he's gonna be running Dragon Empire. That's gonna be his main nation to play. So who's to say like maybe my best hope is like Kai makes a return from this series. Yeah, blah blah blah, nostalgia, shut the fuck up. Like this is my speculation. If you don't like it, well, whatever. Anyways, Kai comes back. He could be like an old grown man or something, and then like maybe he encounters Yu at one point, and he's like, oh, not the power of the Dragon Empire, and gives him a whooping. Kai can make like a great hermit character for Yu, like the person that's going to guide the main character. Hell, it doesn't even have to be Kai. It could be like Kai's kid or something. Like, I don't know how many years passed in the human world, because like they say 3,000 years in Krayt, but how many years is that in the human world? Nobody knows. I mean, if we could get like a good number on it, then that'd be great. But that'd be awesome. That could be the other way for Dragonic Overlord to return as well. Oh man. Brandgate. I don't know what to say about these guys, but the Link Joker like units that they showed before, I feel like there's something up with them. Like, I kind of feel like they're not gonna be all for Cray. Maybe they have like their own little designs and stuff, like interior motives kind of thing. But that's just me, like, just being like, you know, that could happen. I mean, you already have like the good guys. If you've seen the cards, the starter deck for Brantgate, literally a female like Sentai team. Dark States. Okay, so we get to Dark States. So the single hero and Gear Chronicle. My speculation is that this single hero is actually Chrono. Because I think it would make sense. He was literally the Chrono Jet Dragon and Chrono Dran was his vanguards. At the end of the series, Chrono wants to become an astronaut so he can go on to Planet Cray. What if he did end up going to Planet Cray? Like, I mean, space travel would definitely take years and years and years, but to probably reach Cray. But who knows? Maybe Cray is just like a planet in the same galaxy. I mean, you just never know, right? And it would make sense if it was him and Gear Chronicle that helped to reunite the the whole of Dark Zone into the Dark States, because this was the guy that literally helped save both worlds. I mean, why couldn't he be the hero, right? And I still ship Chrono and the Steam Maiden Uluru card, so it could happen. It could happen. Stoikea. Not much to say about here. I do want to know what happened to the Aquaforce Navy, because the only hints we got so far from this nation are the two kind of like pictures we got from the reveal, which is basically a lot of Fang Beast type monsters from like Great Nature, and then we had like some undead Grand Blue units that appeared during the whole thing as well. So yeah. But anyways, oh my god, 30 minutes for a video, that's a long time actually. I guess I'll wrap it up here. What do you guys think about my speculations? What are the speculations you guys have? Leave it down in the comment section down below. And yeah, if you guys want to see me make more videos, either just lore videos or maybe I can go over the TCG stuff, let me know, because I would like to get back into creating videos again. And Cardfight Vanguard, I think, might be a good place to start. I do love the TCG. I don't know if I'm gonna regret saying it, but probably even more so than Yu-Gi-Oh. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Yu-Gi-Oh, but I think Vanguard just sparked my interest much more than Yu-Gi-Oh did. It's just that great in my opinion. Anyways, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Hit the bell notification icon so that you'll be alerted for any of my videos that have been uploaded. Hopefully I can keep a consistent upload of like maybe at least once per week. That would be great. That would probably be the best goal for me. And yeah, this was your boy, the Edge Master with the Dirty Boy Swag, Good Gamer Glenn, and I'm wishing you all a good game and a good day. Bye.